Lake. Katrina, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. So it's a quarter here that surprised a lot of people, but investors don't seem to know quite how to gauge this stock. I mean, it's so volatile, though you have pretty much done what you said that you're going to do since the IPO, 20% year over year revenue growth consistently. What do you think it is that's hard for investors to get about Stitch Fix?
You know, this is a new model, and I think a lot of what people are used to in retail is the stores world or a pure online retail e-commerce world. And in this world of personalization, which we're in, is a different type of model. And I think it's going to take a little bit of time and education and trust building for the broader world to understand it. But, you know, we're really proud of this last quarter, and I think this last quarter really demonstrates that this is a model that has broad traction and can deliver financial results at the same time.
And one of the things that you talked about on the call that drove this outperformance is your ability to find the right customer that's going to deliver long-term value. What is it about the data that you've got on your best customers that has allowed you to tune your marketing in performance in that way?
Yeah, us being able to use data to be able to identify better clients is definitely a big part of the success we've seen and revenue per client and being able to attract those clients that we know we're going to be able to serve best. And, you know, to be honest, a lot of it is in more of the digital world and performance marketing of being able to, as we are acquiring customers, to be able to better identify really early in the funnel who has attributes that are likely to be a good client. And so, you know, in some cases, that's going to be how much they look like other clients. In some cases, it's going to be things that we've been able to unearth as we've been able to serve these millions of clients over time. But I think to be able to have a focused strategy around how do you acquire clients that are going to be great for your service versus how do you just acquire as many clients as possible is definitely the strategy that we employ.
Not looking for you to give away the store, but what are some of those things that give you a sense of who's likely to be that kind of a client?
We really look at kind of past performance, and so we'll look at the types of attributes that drive success within our client base already. And so as an example, we see that clients who are looking for premium jeans are clients that tend to really enjoy the service of Stitch Fix and tend to be successful with us. And so, you know, there's a range, there's a huge number of attributes that we find correlate with success with Stitch Fix and being able to deploy them, you know, not just in terms of how we're mapping products for clients once they're in the service, but to be able to use that in identifying good clients is a strength that, you know, has been a newer strength for us.
Katrina, I signed up and did Style Shuffle this morning and started going through the ratings, and I found it very catchy, I have to say. So in this discussion around data, I'm wondering what all of that increased data does to the cost equation as well.
Yeah, the data is super valuable to us, and that Style Shuffle that you played, that's part of the 2 billion ratings that we will have since we launched that feature. And Style Shuffle, as an example, is something that was, almost a surprise to us and how valuable it was. It was something that we launched as kind of a tinkering project, and we actually found that not only did it help us to be able to style for you better, but it actually helped us to style in the aggregate for the broader world of Stitch clients better. And so it helps us to be able to serve a brand new client even better when we get that data. And so it's something that we've been super excited to be able to make more broad and to have, you know, people like you who are early in the funnel to be able to use those ratings.
Katrina, a quick macro question. At 30,000 feet, is a more uncertain consumer good for your model? And are retailers with bloated inventories going into the summer good for your model?
Inventory management is definitely a strength of ours, and to be able to react quickly in season, we turn our inventory over 6 times a year, and to be able to operate a really large growing business with kind of a leaner balance sheet is definitely one of the strengths of our model. In terms of the consumer side, we have such a broad range of price points. Like, we are able to serve clients who are looking for products in the $20 to $30 range, all the way up into the contemporary, higher end price points. And so, we think that we're well equipped to be able to serve clients for kind of whatever their sentiment is and whatever they're looking for. Depending on, kind of what price points they want and what brands they want. And so I think that's another feature that, gives us some confidence looking into the future.
You're about to get another kind of test with these tariffs, these China tariffs. You talked a bit about that on the call, and the belief that some of that data that you've got and your understanding of the customer is going to help you to manage that better. Can you talk about to what extent you've been able to move your own manufacturing out of China in preparation for that, and the sorts of moves that you can make to mitigate the cost increase?
Yeah, so I mean, we do have a number of levers, and so we have private label exclusive brands within our mix, and for that product, in some cases we're working directly with factories, in some cases we're working with vendors, and in the short term, it's harder to move some of those country of origin decisions, but in the longer term, that's an instrument that we have. We also can work with our vendors to be able to share some of the costs if that's going to be something. And then the last point that I think is what you are mentioning here, as Paul talked about, how we can kind of surgically be able to identify places where some of the price increases might be able to be shared with our clients. And I think that's one place where being able to have the data and being able to run experiments is a real advantage of our model, because I think we will, we have kind of a multitude of ways that we can potentially deal with these tariffs if they come to be. There's a lot of uncertainty, obviously, on this topic, and I feel really great that our team has really thoroughly understood what the risks are and to be able to come up with contingency plans depending on what the outcome ends up being.